Back in the saddle here. Another day, another pip. The euro dollar staring down 113, which is ending in a Fibonacci number. We scalped the wick yesterday. If you're holding through the wick on some position, you could have reloaded the gun down here at I actually detached this guy and floated around. That's another magical thing inside MT4. So it looks like we are going to attempt to take out the high of the month. And won't that be great? So I was playing around with a trader last night. Not like you think, but we were trading the Australia. He said he was trading the pound to the Australia. So look at the price action on this puppy. At the time, this is the trades we were doing, was to sell, well, a pending sell up here, because you could see that top, but all sorts of drama here. Basically buying here, and I even had some lingering orders after we stopped talking that were here, and it went like this. So you really can't tell. You know, you look back on this stuff, range trading rules, let's just say that right off the bat. If you look at this move here, so I had pendings here to get picked up on this. And this is when we were talking. This is coming to Asian sessions, like 10 o'clock at night, Eastern Standard Time. And never met the target. I thought it would be able to clip the trees here, but it took until here to capture that. So what's going on? It's an auction market. And they'll bid this down. This is the top, becomes the bottom. This is almost your perfect entry, but look at retest. I had lingering orders I never canceled. It came back to here. It cashed out to here. I never saw it. I woke up, and I could see that they just came down, cashed that, boom, boom. Then, again, if you had more pendings, you'd even a lower low. You could have set a whole grid. And some guy said he didn't. I don't think you understand grid trading. I'm not really grid trading. I'm using this as my price so I don't blow up the account. If you still had lingering limits here, they would have got filled. And this was the bigger the move, because this is pure auction down here. Look up auction trading, and it's not that fucking shit you see out there. 2 hour. Listen, you don't need a 2 hour video to learn auction trading, okay? All it is it's like an auctioneer. He's like, do I hear so-and-so? Do I hear so-and-so? Sold! Or bought, right? Sold for the auctioneer, for the auction house. The public buys it. Look at that run. Look at the risk level there. Teeny tiny. What is the risk window here? 10 pips to make 70 pips, 60 pips, 70 pips. So I'm talking about. You can short right now. Your targets are here. Fair value is anything in the middle of all of this ranging. That's how the markets work. And why do they do that? Because they're looking for liquidity. Find it here, find it there. Even find it here, this whole thing. So liquidity lives inside of where the price hasn't been. So if you flip around the formula, so here the buyers, you have a pending sitting on top of this 15-minute. All right, you got filled your long. You bought in the middle of fair value. Same thing on the southern side. When the market came up into this, and it's also the round number, so you could just do the math easy, see? This is 50 pips. You know how many pips you're making, too. From here, from this line to this line is 50 pips, these two lines. So here's 50 pips. Here's 50 pips. 50 pips sell, 50 pips buy. There's a liquidity spot here. They call it a stop hunt because retail traders are told to put their stops here at the last known low. Sorry, that's my coffee machine. Apparently the coffee tastes better when it gurgles. It's a robot, so it grinds it, and it's on its last leg, though. It's a cry for help when you hear it make that sound. And that's trading. Look at this thing. Now, in the big picture, and this is kind of like a dangerous thing to do, because if you're buying here and you put your stop down here and you said, well, I'm going to ride this thing. Have you seen the monthly and the weekly and the daily charts? So you get really greedy and you put your stop down here. You don't give it enough room, and then you start looking at that chart, and you do go to the daily, and you say, holy God, have you seen this thing pulling back? Look how they just smashed you out of that. Then you go to the weekly, you're like, man, this thing got top bottom on the weekly. It's setting it for a big run up. It could just melt down. But just trying to get on the train, could be. You could blow up your account trying to board the train, right? You could. It's like when you're in Canada. I went to the subway there, and they had a thing that said "Mind the Gap," and I thought that's kind of succinct. Mind the gap? Why? And I thought, well, because you're probably going to die, right? You're trying to subway. There's a gap between the platform and the moving train subway thing. Mind the gap. There's a lot in Toronto, Canada. There's a lot of these things. Mind the gap. That'd be a good name for it. Mind the gap forex. So mind the spread. And then the guy said, why are you doing that video on Akil Stokes? I know it's Akil Stokes, dude. I know Jason Stapleton is a white guy. He's the Hollywood guy. His partner is Todd Brown. And I'm going to do a video today on Todd Brown. That's where they got all these wackadoodle ideas, these retail. See, Todd Brown's a retail trader. I don't even know if he trades. They adopted everything to the letter of what he says. They regurgitated it in Hollywood form. They suck all these newbie and maybe not too many old B traders into their fucking bullshit. And it's just sad. It's just sad. You know what? Akil Stokes said, and he's a black guy, he said in his video that if you're just going to do that, then you might as well give your money to charity. Okay, well then why don't you just, if you're so good at trading, why don't you just trade and give your money to charity and take down your stupid ass torture traders? I mean, you know how many people they're going to leave wounded and psychologically damaged? Well, I signed up with these guys. You should see their site. You should see their software. And they try to come up with their own version of the harmonic scanner. People try to automate it. You cannot automate this shit. Would you automate sex? Would you have somebody show up, a robot show up and bang your wife? Maybe, right? Because she's just a fucking nag. So you make a clone of yourself. This is when cloning is going to make money. I cloned myself, and I got my clone doing all the drudgery. So, and here's the gold market, those big rundowns there. But trading, you trade this side of the right side of the chart. You can't trade that left side. And if you built all those Gartleys and fibs on the left side of the chart, another thing, those guys don't talk about volatility, so it's very disturbing. They don't say, hey, here's a breakout trade. And if they can't accommodate other people's, like, they're no help to you if they cannot say, well, whip out a Ranco. This Akil Stokes, it's all about him. Let's show you what I do. What you do, shit. So what is he helping you for? I'm hand-holding you through the shit I'm going to teach you. Yeah, you're going to need that. You're going to need a lot of hand-holding and a lot of handkerchiefs for your tears. Because he's not saying, what does this guy do? He's a goof. He didn't learn Ranco. He didn't learn Hakanashi. He should be whipping out a different fucking... Anybody trade stochastics? Here's how you trade stochastics. If you're going to trade stochastics, here's how you manage risk. If you're going to do this is how you do that. But no, he's stuck on page one. See, here's a guy that came to trading, blew up some accounts. Somebody said, hey, come over here. I'll show you how to not blow up your account. And he's like, oh, God, thank God. Now he's clinging to this. Or he refuses to step outside of that. He must be trading so big, and he rarely gets filled. His ratios suck. for what it's just so mind-boggling. How does this exist? Only in a world where there's so many people that somebody makes it to that position. You really wonder, like you say, how did this guy ever be? You ever work at a place where you're like, why is that guy the boss? I know more than him. Because he kissed ass. He's a nice guy. I'm not saying you have to be an asshole to make money, but you have to be you need to lose. He's all about, you got to be so careful. It's not the way to do it. Look at this trade last night. If I would have talked to this guy last night, he had to go to sleep. If I would have talked to him about this pound versus Australia, it's astonishing. It's not going anywhere. This is ripping your account apart. Look at the 1 hour. Does this look like it's going anywhere? Do you know how many fucking false breakouts, if you want to call them? I mean, it's one thing to trade a breakout on a 15-minute chart. It's another thing to put in to say stuff like, well, you know, when you did, really? Oh, well, you know, okay, so you're in the middle of fair value now. Do you buy or you sell? And then always with these guys, we go down to the trading time frame. Well, why are you looking at the big charts then? Give people hope and dreams of giant pips. Canadian dollar in his thing. I had to skim through it. 58 minutes of bad trading opportunities. He says dollar Canadian, his target. I'm not kidding you. I don't know why these guys think like this. He's not going to ride that trade. He's taking little chunks. He says, if we can take little chunks out of the market, be humble. Are you kidding me? And this is a coach? A coach is saying, run until your legs fall off, bitch. He's a pussy coach. But who's coming into the trading things? People that read a book and they don't know how to apply it. But he's not even fucking he's just not even doing anything. He's not helping people. He's not helping me, obviously. He's helping me see that all the shit I learned and where it came, what's the context? What is the fundamental premise of his philosophy of life, of trading? You can see, you cannot take these things you've learned in real life and take it into the trading world. They just ask Mark Douglas. If he was alive, ask him. That's why people are losing. They're taking all of these normal rules that make you win. Like, I'm a perfectionist, but I'm a recovering perfectionist ever since I started trading. When stuff that I do, it looks fucking perfect. That's how I've made money up to this point. When I do my handcrafted stuff, is fucking dead nuts on. Coming to trading, couldn't even pull the trigger. Where's the perfect setup? Where's the Holy Grail? Okay, so that's why I did the video. But the guy thought, I think that when people ask questions, I can already tell what they're thinking. Why did you do this video? You know what the underlying of what he really wants to say is, why are you picking on these guys? He might even be a student. Like, why did you do this video? Are you just going to be a meanie rat? Yeah, I guess you have to. Well, it's for the comedy's sake. It's not funny unless you... If I was just to go through and point it out, yeah, I'm overshoot the runway. I'm going to be an asshole when I criticize it, of course. Because look how stupid this is. And maybe people will benefit something out of it, but is it going to let them be themselves? No. Are you going to clone Akil Stokes? I'm doing what you're doing. I did the same trade you did. We both got lucky. And if you listen to the video, he's saying, well, all these setups, you know, some are going to win, some are going to lose. Like, hey, son, try it again. It's like, are you serious? Well, next time I drive a car, I'm going to open my eyes. I'm not just going to, like, wow, so you thought you'd open your eyes next time around, right? I mean, well, I've been hitting a lot of people and stuff, and somebody told me, hey, if you open your eyes, it's easier to drive, but I was relying on my Fibonacci extensions to see if I should turn here, and then playing scenarios out way in advance. I've talked about this. Who's out buying clothes for a woman they never met? Well, I bought him everything from, I got 00 stuff in case I meet a spinner. I've got like a 4 or 5, 6, in case she's like middle of the road. And I got some stuff in case I decide to become a chubby chaser. I got all those clothes. I'm waiting for somebody to come along and I can impress them. Look what I got. Look at what you can wear tonight, honey. You don't even have to go to the store. And it's just cruel. But I understand everybody has to make a living. But why can't these guys just fucking trade and make their money there? This pisses me off. So what people will say is those who teach can't trade. Not necessarily. It's more like those that trade maybe can't teach. I can't show you what I'm doing. I've already had so many people say, I don't get what you're doing. Okay. I don't see why are you placing those orders? How do you manage all those orders? But that's all trading is managing orders. So if you want to be a better trader, manage more orders. It's all about order management. It's not about these outlandish, this Fibonacci stuff. Hey, he's got Fibonacci-itis. You can't unring that bell for him. If somebody makes, it's like the rat with the cocaine, right? He'll do coke till he dies. He won't eat. If you keep pulling that lever, yeah, he's going to keep doing these Fibonacci trades because he made money on it once. He got high on it once. But he'll never open his eyes so he can trade. Akil will never make it so he can be a professional trader and not sell bullshit and be a bullshit coach. He's a schmoozer. I really detest schmoozers. People that are going to, nothing wrong with selling used cars, but it's your classic, guy with a leisure suit. They still make leisure suits. But just, this kind of slimy, we come to our trading room and don't forget, be humble. And I'll leave the humbleness to you, to Akil or Akel. It's just sad. It's just sad. And, the old saying is true. I heard years ago, if you give a man fish, you feed him for a day. If you teach him how to fish, you feed him for life. He's teaching people how to fish, fly fish. He's a fly fisherman. Okay, what if I live on the ocean? I want to be a deep sea fisherman. The problem is he's not showing you all the kinds of fishing. He's saying, well, fly fishing. I fly fish. You want to see me fly fish? You want to come along with me? I'm like, dude, can we just get some, I gotta eat. If he's fly fishing, I don't know how big a fish you catch with a fly, but if you're throwing in fish that are like a foot long, you're catching big fish, okay? You got a dolphin, you got whatever the fuck's out there, you caught a shark, right? You got some fucking tungsten carbide bait and you caught a shark, right? So what is it about that stuff that just, it's hysterical. Then you have the offshoots. There's actually a kid there that can trade. There's a young kid who is inside the empowered trading team. But see, it just doesn't have that Hollywood touch. He's just on his phone going, yeah, I'm making money. Now he knows how to trade, right? Everybody inside empowered trading, it's this, and then when they use stuff like the syndicate, are you fucking kidding me? Are people still falling for this shit? I'm in the syndicate. They used to be like a bad thing. Anyways, so we're waiting for this setup here. I'm on the old school. So going back to the looking to clear out this, and if you're holding this through this ride, it's a little daunting because you're like, well, is this thing gonna back up in me like a Doberman and crush me? I don't know. There's news coming out here in about, what is that, 50 minutes, 52 minutes? It's going to rock this thing. We could pop to 113 and beyond. But see, I'm not going to go to the weekly and create some fantasy thing. See, here would be the ultimate fractal. Sellers will come in there, you think, at 113. Once again, there's your Fibonacci. If you got a Fibonacci fetish, there you go. So it's all bullshit. Fibonacci, Gartley's. Come on. If it worked, you would just take a computer and run it. You know, a Cray computer was the fastest computer back in the day, and Bill Williams ran. He found the fractal. Okay, what's next? We got to trade this stuff. Look at no monthly fractals. Oh, here you go. Look at this. Don't you wish you would long on this fractal? But you have to get in before the fractal forms. That was my point. Some guy said you got that right. But see, there's a triple fractal bottom on the monthly euro. Oh, don't forget it's going to par. All that bullshit talk. And once again, auction. Do I have any more sellers? No. Go the other way. Why is it going up? Why is it going up? Doesn't anybody want to know why? Why doesn't Akil tell you why it's going up? Because it's going into uncharted water. Right? Why does it turn around where it does? And here's a cipher or a batwing. All they're doing is getting in this window. When I saw that, I said, well, why do you have all this other triangle? Why do you need two triangles? All you need to do is see that there's a high here, there's a high here, and this is where you have your limits. Your limits start selling up into that, and your stop is maybe above that. You're filled on that, and then you start exiting here, right? And you start buying it back to go the other way because it's a market. It goes up. Here we go. We'll go through the roof now. So hopefully you're still holding on to this trade from the hammer. Now that would take some discipline that I don't have. I usually just get the fuck out and reload on a smaller time frame. But if you're on the, if you are holding this hammer right now, and you've already broken this trend line, you're kind of crashing through the trend line on close, mind you. The trend line, the reason I don't do the trend lines in Wix, but look how long it's taking us to get to the trend line. You want to be in as you're going through that, and the closing prices are tighter. Here's the top bottom. There was the stop hunt, and they call that because retail traders have their stops in there. So the lingo is based around, and then they'll say, well, the big boys aren't trading with stops, number one. But, you know, because they're not in. See, retail guys have the advantage. What's so funny is I could trade with 3,000 to 1 leverage all the way down to, I guess, 1 to 1 if you wanted. These big funds, they're not trading like leverage like that. They're just in. There's so many boatloads of money. They don't need leverage. They got $1 billion to manage. 10 billion. Billions and billions. So, but for us little guys, I just had to break up again with this. I got a psycho babe friend from when I was a kid. I knew her since I was 7 years old. She was 2 years old. She's just out of her mind. And she's got a bunch of fallacies floating in her head. So I'm never going to be able to talk to her again because she's nuts. That's what happens to people. They adopt a bunch of stuff that's not true, and then they can live in a bubble because she's got a husband that pays for her, whatever she wants. She's a princess, but she's mentally ill. This is what happens because they don't need to think about stuff like that. They don't need to think about the real world. So after a while, you talk to the person, you're like, I gotta go. You're nuts. Okay, sellers are going to probably start coming in a little bit here. We're clipping the tops of the 4 hour, coming up into this 4 hour fractal here. And the news is coming out in 45 minutes, so we could smash up into this and come flying back. So if that's the case, you could put some buy limits here. Obviously, right there. Doesn't that seem obvious? See the ATR breakout? There's the trap. If you have buy stops sitting here now, you could have all those buy stops sitting in there for an aggressive trade would be, to me, is to leave all those buy stops there and just let it autofill. I typically don't like that because I want to get the best price I can get. The same thing was true here, but it was a trap. See, because that's why you don't want these stops to linger. You want to get in on this breakout in the 4 hour, and you just want to jump it, make that money there. Same thing here. Here's the ultimate ATR breakout with a trap. So this is a fantastic setup, and your tickets are going to trigger. You place the orders. You don't look for setups. You can see the setup before it happens. So what you're going to do here is you have the, you're getting in an ATR breakout 4 hour, goes up. When it goes up, what do? You sell. It's very counterintuitive. This is why the empowered trading is bad. They're trying to be intuitive. They're trying to be predictive. And now Jason Stapleton's going to come out with the power of predictive trading. Why? It's been proven you don't need to know where the market's going to make money. You can just trade volatility breakouts and kill mechanical trading. But how are we going to sell you a course and show you a bunch of fancy pastel colored triangles and Fibonacci tools that we can whip out that have more handles than, you know, and I mean, what do you got? 10 Fibonacci levels? Wait, the zero thing. And I've seen people that have they have their own custom brew Fibonacci. At least those people are saying, you know what, I like this Fibonacci. I like these numbers better. And I'm saying I like the round numbers better. Because look at all the trades at the 50 level. I just made 50 pips. Right? I just made 25 pips. From here to here. Okay, we're going up. We're going after these. Top of the hour will be a big deal. Then 20 minutes after the top of the hour, the bond market's going to go up, which is debt market. Right here, you're clipping this ledge here. Now you might see it pull back. Touch that and tug back. And fix the scale, damn it. Why don't these fuckers fix the scale? Don't they understand that price is vertical? Price is not this. Price is vertical. What is wrong with them? They must, maybe they're too busy to watch my videos. Scott, and the guy's telling me, you know who that is? Dude, I've been criticizing these guys for 3 years now. The one guy, Jason Greystone, he's like, oh, that's funny. What does he care? He's trading his own account. He's a swing trader. He probably gets some type of supplemental money there. Jason checked out. Some guy said, yeah, he's doing a political conservative talk show. And I heard his ads. This guy spent so much money. I'm listening to my talk show here in town. And after I just got done, I thought, you know, not to be paranoid, but after I got done criticizing him, I hear him run an ad on my radio. I'm like, God, this guy's after me now. He's a Hollywood commentator. He's been interviewed by people. Now, if I was a newbie trader, I would be in awe. I'd say, look at him. He's good looking. He's how could these guys, they haven't been sued. They're still running the show. Man, it must be good. And this is another thing to consider. It costs so much that they're charging so much that, well, it must be really, really good. Well, I paid thousands of dollars to study trading. But in the end, it always came down to, could I pull the trigger back when you just thought that you had traded the market? Can I pull the trigger? Now, Had I just gone off by myself and traded and traded and traded, I probably would have done better. I would say for the psychological stuff I'd studied, that was where all of the, it's 90% psychological. And so that's worth it. But if you're going to be a trading coach and you're going to have this, all this free stuff, it's like you're going to post free things, at least tell me what you're going to, you see the sellers coming there? At least tell me something like, okay, what we're going to show you is how to trade fearlessly. What we're going to show you is how not to take just one trade. What we're going to show you is that you have to trade 20 trades and maybe 8 of them are losers, but the ratios are good, so you're killing it. Maybe what we're going to show you, what you sign up for, the Ultimate Transformation course. They just say, no, we have the Ultimate Transformation course. Look at the sellers coming in here, right? See what I'm talking about? See the scalpers, they got the sell limits up there. So how can you, like, at least when you buy a car, they're like, oh, this thing, man, you'll be picking up chicks in this car. There's not even any kind of like, it's terrible. And it's terrible. It's really ruins forex for people, you know, and the people that come there with their, yeah, you know, it looks like a double top, but you need a trade plan for this double top shit. They have no trade plans because they don't talk about size. Just make up a fucking number. Say, if you've got $1,000, only a couple times I've heard Akil Stokes say, and this is what he says to people, if you want to trade, you need about $50,000. Well, maybe in the States at 51 leverage, right? But really not even that. He's like, you know what? That's the old joke. How do you make $1 million trading? Start with $2 million. He comes from that school of thought. So I just don't get it, man. Why? Because they're just marketers. My market's life's better. At least you're having fun. You're trading on your phone. Swipe trade. Like, woohoo, look at that. God, these guys. My God, you are back in school. Fluorescent lights. No talking in class. Okay, let's see what happens here. We'll wait for the top of the hour. I'd be getting out of something here, probably. Take something off the table here. But the all or nothing thinking comes about from a one-ticket trade. Even taking partial profits. Why isn't it partial entries? Why is it buy one and... Okay? I think it comes from get married to one chick and then start cheating on her. Just don't divorce her. Yeah, see if there's something better, then jump ship, right? Oh, I found a hotter girl. Now I'm going to tell my wife, okay, you got to go. And then you just, because you don't want to be lonely, right? I just had a dream of my ex-wife. We couldn't find a place to talk quietly, right? We couldn't find a place to discuss stuff, and then we just broke up because we couldn't get the marriage back together because we didn't have like a nice little safe space to discuss stuff. And in the dream, you know, dreams are ridiculous. There was all these other people there, and the place was under construction. You know how that stuff was. But then the sellers come in here, right? You scalp a little bit. So Akil Stokes says, well, take little nips out of the market and like, oh, just you're so shy. You can't be a pussy. Unless you're a girl, right? But there's women out there who are so tough, they beat the fuck out of you. There was a guy who I was working with this doctor, and the patient comes in, this old guy, and we'd done a gold bridge for him because he was a bruxer. In other words, he grinds his teeth. So I had to add solder onto it. I had to add metal onto it, solder. We're laser welding back then, and he says, Yeah, and then he grind it all off, right? The doctor had to adjust it. So this went on for like 6 months. I said, "What's going on with this guy? Is his jaw like no? His wife's beating him. His wife's beating the shit out of him. So his jaw is changing. He's flinching. He's clenching. He's probably got hit in the jaw. His bite's changing constantly. We're trying to chase his bite. So he's in occlusion. That's what your teeth come together. And my God, man. So, women, but that's the exception that proves the rule. But this is the waiting game. I was showing somebody how to trade once, and they said, "This looks like a waiting game." I'm like, "Yep, not what I like to do." So if you have that urge to scalp, but you can scalp the 4-hour chart. See, if you had a sell limit up here, you're scalping the 4-hour chart. I don't have my trying to get the maximum bandwidth here. Here, I'll put in other words, the last serious video that I'm not making fun of idiots that I did was, you'd have I think I posted this one. The very top here is one ticket, right? So if you want to trade one ticket, you'd put it up here, and that'd be the sell limit, and there's your stop, right? But see, this is a greedy take profit. I don't think you can make that much on this, because this thing's hell bent on going up, and the scalp might be over right now. But at least you can be aware of the fact that you don't want to be doing dumb shit like putting your buy stop here and it's really going to break out. Dude, you missed the breakout. It was down here, right? So you got to be aware of this. Time matters. If you go to if you fix the scale, I don't know why they don't fix the scale. See, now you can rifle through. If you go down to your trading time frame, this is the daily. And this is when you go to the weekly, you just be like, well, hell, I don't even know where I'm at. Well, of course, it doesn't matter, because you're only trying to make, how many pips you're trying to make. So figure how many pips you're trying to make. If it's 50 pips, this is 50 pips. From here to here is 50 pips. Okay, so we're coming up on the top of the hour. That sell limit there, I'd have to delete that now. I missed that trade on the 4-hour. That was the scalp I missed. If you go to the 5-minute, it's pulled back. People that are getting long are buying right now. Every 5 minutes it pulls back, they're buying, and they got a buy limit sitting right here. Now I've got to delete this sell, because that scalp's over. It's a lot of work, man. It's a lot just ticket management. You can't just tell people stuff like, well, you see this this batwing. This is going to be such a good trade. It's not. Look back on their stuff, and then somebody said once in the comments months ago when I was bashing them in the comments, "No, this stuff really works." Really? Wow. Okay, so we're about to get filled on this buy limit, but that's not it. That's not the only buy limit. You can't live off of one ticket. So let me go more aggressive. I'm going to put 2 tickets starting at this fractal to buy, because I don't think it's going to just go straight up. Then I can take this fractal and put another power pack down here and let that bake. I got to go pour my robot coffee. I can also, and this script will not do it, can I place it above here? So what I'll do is I'll just come in and buy one at the market. I think I'm going to miss this maybe. Buy one at the market, buy one on a stop. So every 5 minutes it drops down, you keep hitting this buy. You buy here. And now if you've reached your limit of risk for the day, you stop. Right here, stop. But see how the scalpers are making money in that 4-hour wick? See how that works? The stop hunt. It's a liquidity hunt. Right. It stopped out the bear bots. That was their money management stop, a trailing stop at the last known whatever. And that's it. See? Now you're in the 5-minute. It's tanking. I wait another 5 minutes and I buy more. right? I just don't get it, man. It's sad, you know. I know these people think they're helping, but they're not. They're hurting people. It's like that diet thing. You know, here, do this, do that. You're just selling diet stuff. Diet books should be 3 pages. You know, one page says stop eating. Next page says go outside and walk. Next page says drink water. Okay, you losing weight? How about this guy that went to jail for writing a book? Can't remember his name. He's one of these guys like debunking all this stuff, saying, hey, if you do this, do that. Guy's in jail right now. Judge says, well, you know, there's no guarantee you lose weight. Can't remember the guy's name. He's on TV all the time in the States. See, I'm talking to people overseas now. So you never know what you're referencing, if anybody, what country they're from. Okay, now you got to stop buying, right? You got to stop buying because it's going up. And you've already got in too much. You got a pending buy limit down here. You have no sells. You're looking to hit that 113. It's 1 minute before the top of the hour. And it could be a stampede north. The news comes out. It could rip all the way back and crush all the way back. I don't know if there's news coming out or not, but 8:30. And that Akil Stokes had you thinking that the whole world was going to come to an end. It's so dangerous to trade. Only if you're in big. Right? There's low liquidity. Be careful out there. Okay, you got Canadian gross domestic product coming out at 8:30. At 8 o'clock, you're going to have, we just had news come out of the States right now. On Forex Factory, it's FOMC member or somebody, but it's top of the hour. So any robots that are referencing this ATR, they just got long on stops. I'm long at the market, and I never got filled in that buy limit. Look how close it came to that. Right? So this is trading. Okay? Decision making on the fly. No Gartleys, no fibs. Just market structure. They talk about that. Market structure. And just so many suppositions, so many like, look this and then don't do that. You're looking for this kind of wedge before it gets to that. And if the border here, you got that. It's like Filter City. Would you play guitar like that? Let's see him in the key of major. There was a guy in my band. Poor guy's dead now. He's the bass player. This guy shows up. I'm not kidding you. He wrote a song. Not one, totally grooveless. I didn't think it was possible. He had not one repeating bass line. And he's like, here, I'll show you the song. I'm like, dude, I'm not going to read the Encyclopedia Britannica and then recite it to you. You've written a phone book of nonsense. This guy, and I didn't have the heart to tell him. This went on he was in the band for like 5 years. We weren't professional. We were just getting together for fun, but still, even in fun, you like to do it right. Guy would put his strings on his custom-made bass guitar. He never stretched the strings out, so you're jamming, right? But he's got a $300 Strobomatic tuner. He kept tuning after each song. I wanted to go over his bass and pull all the strings and bend them like two whole steps and stretch them and get them all dialed in and then retune it for him and show him. But he thought that if you stretch them, it ruins the sound. Poor guy. And he would learn the song, and then the drummer would do the shuffle version of the same song that we just wrote. We just play all original. And he threatened to quit the band. He goes, if you keep changing the beat, I'm like, dude, you're the most inflexible motherfucker. But he was a mechanic, see? In his world, he probably didn't use a crescent wrench. Everything was, socket. He had snap-on tools, right? So this rigidness, he was the most unsoulful bass player I think I've ever. I didn't even think. He showed me the band that he played in before. They were all dressed up in red sport jackets. And when we were on stage once, he wanted to do this thing where, you ever seen guitarists? I think it's like a glam rock thing that they're jamming and then they rub each other's backs together on stage. I thought it was I thought it was borderline gay, so I opted out of that. I said, yes, I'm not going to do that on stage with you. I don't care how good it sounds. But this guy's a perfectionist, is my point. This is really, trading's no place for a perfectionist. I don't think life is either. Very dangerous mental loop. So a lot of anxiety, I used to get anxiety attacks over it. And being a perfectionist, but see, the reason why I didn't want to let go of being a perfectionist, because that's how I made money. Because people said, man, your work's perfect. I go, yeah, I know. You sure? And if you have to let go of some of that and be more unprecise. Here, you see, look at, should I have gotten out of that? I could buy here, right? Now, why not buy here again? Because this is where the breakout traders got in. Well, why not, right? Sure, there you go. Let's buy again. I just bought another one. So the market gives you 3 and 5 times to, it's not out to get you. It seems like it gives you plenty of times to reboard that wagon. Okay, so the news didn't seem to rocket too bad. That's the Federal Open Market Committee. Kaplan. Is this the guy from, that was with Travolta? Kaplan speaks. The Chicago PMI comes out at 9:45. Pending home sales at 10. That should rocket. And then the beige book, which looks like a boring thing. But Alexander Elder doesn't even watch the news. He doesn't even know when it's coming out. And he ended up with something called Spike. Go figure. He trades the Spike. He's doing what I'm doing. Alexander Elder said, well, you know, look at that Spike. What if I bought that? Yeah, that's it, man. When everybody's losing their mind, you're getting in. All right, it's boring. We're going to wait till there's no news at 8:30 except for the Canadians are going to get rocked. I've got a Canadian chart here. Canada. I think it's going down. I tell you, man. This could be the tipping point. There's this big hole here. I'm really using the trend line to show that there's a vast uncharted water below we could drop into. A lot of people are speculating that this is a trading channel. This is what Akil Stokes is saying. Oh, it's going to buy and it's going to go to the moon, and his target, don't forget, is up here, right? Dreamland. Oh, I think it's up here, actually. He said 160. Okay. 160. I tell people to buy down here. I was in a coffee shop years ago. I said, do you realize this is cheaper than, this is below par? Couldn't get anybody to take that trade. Everybody I met in the coffee shop has said, I know you're not a forex trader, but, and this is back when you could trade 400, 501 leverage, IBFX out of Texas, 401 leverage. Open a trading account. Buy a 5K down here. You could have made so much money. I would definitely be exiting right here at resistance. Dollar CAD, does that look like it's going to keep going up? I think it's baked. I think it's your first trend line you can draw. If this top bottom doesn't hold on the monthly, you're baked. It's done. You know, Canada is going to go, if Canada gets rid of this bozo who's running the country, this girly man, then if they get a Trump in office, forget about it. Look how much real estate they have. You know, they're not making any more land. I tell you what, man, as soon as people learn how to live in the Yukon, it's they already do live out there, right? But when it gets really, when the technology turns to how do you survive bad weather conditions, man, it's going to be something else. Okay, they're pulling back again on this euro, so maybe getting filled. It's got to think. You got to think just crazy thought. Oh, look, I got filled there on my buy limit too. So look at this. They're filling me up. See, they're crushing me down. Look at them pull that back. 5-minute chart. Oh, they just stopped out this guy. But I bought that. I bought his stop from him. And I'll buy all these stops. And I'm not in that big. Got plenty of dry powder. You need a lot of dry powder. Okay, in 10 minutes, there's going to be some movement because the debt market's going to open in Chicago, I think. Still doing that, right? 820? 30-year bonds, 10-year bonds, 5-year notes, 10-year notes. Okay. Got filled on that stop hunt. Waiting, I'm down 74 cents. It's killing me. All right, 5 minutes before the 15-minute guys are in. I'm on the 15. I'm long on limits. I'm long on a couple early, eager pullbacks. Here's the 5-minute chart. There was the stop hunt. We're long at that precise level that we picked. We bought some at the market, and we're looking for a run. We're looking for the dollar to get crushed. And Canadian news is coming out, and we're going to go to the Canadian chart and watch them smash the Canadian market to bits. We'll buy in limits. When they smash that through the floor, I should probably get rid of some of these charts. Most of the stuff won't even fit on here. Okay, here's Canadian. Let's go to the 4-hour Canadian chart and look for it to smash down. It does look like it's poised to run up. But even if that was the case, we would sell here at this. Look at this thing probe the 136. Let's just throw up limits up here. We'll scalp off of that. We'll scalp off of this treetop here. Sellers will come in there. So where's your stop so I can hunt it? So if that's true, and nobody wants to be accused of stealing from other people, but you really have to do that. You have to say, well, I'm gonna hunt their stops. F8 opens this up, fix the scale. So let's shop price. And if it plunges, which on the daily, there's a huge hole below, and this is where you would start buying at this stop. Right, where's your stop? People tell you where their stops are. You put your orders in there first. Easy. Then we'll put some broad-based, because this is a very volatile pair. We'll put a 3K spanning 20 pips here. And we'll put it in the same spots. Just below, we don't want to duplicate any orders. So if we have a dense scalp bank, we're going to pepper this, interweave it. Interweave that. Same thing on the top side. 3K spread over 20 pips. Here's 10K linear spread over 36 pips. This is kind of like one size fits all. It's polyester knit trade. There you go. Here's these could be 12-hour orders. These all 8-hour orders. And news is about to come out. Okay, here comes the bond market. 2 minutes away. So I'm going to go either way on this CAD. I'm going to buy low, and I'm going to sell high. And so you can watch it or not. If you watch it, it's not going to help unless you get a trade at the market. Here is the... got too many pairs up here. Go back to the euro. 1 minute till the bonds open. My clock's slow on the computer because it's clock's 5 seconds slow. It's supposed to be grabbing, but I got a real atomic clock in the wall. Okay, the bonds are open. And I think I can actually move this down here. You can grab onto this CAD and drag it over to the closer to the other chart, so you can toggle between them now. So you can go between the Euro and the CAD. They got this thing teed up. With the scale fixed, we can go right to the 5. And it should be pretty crazy. That's the big news coming out there. But would it really matter if you had, like, if you already figured out your risk, it wouldn't matter, right? See, this is the thinking, that it wouldn't matter because you've predefined the risk. So whatever happens, happens, and that's all there is to it. Okay, we'll wait for the bottom of the hour. This guy's still pulling back. We could still get filled on these limits down here, because the bonds are open. It's a different story. We have a first cash market open before the stocks open. Okay, 1 minute, 45 seconds. Still pulling back on the euro. Still getting filled on limits. Looking for a blast up. Down $1.54. I'm in 4K. I just got rid of all the charts. I'm just down to the CAD that has news coming out. Everybody's on the 15. The spread's going to get really hairy on the CAD. 15 seconds to news. Really mind-blowing moves on this CAD, though. Crush down. So if they fill those buy limits there, go to the 1 hour, go to the 4 hour, go to the daily. 4 hour gives you a sense of the hole that's below. These are my limits waiting to get filled. There's the 4 hour. Euro dollar's backing up. I'm down $2.30. Still in the original. Now, if you run really wide stops, you'd hold through this whole thing. You just see a drawdown, that's all. Swing traders see drawdown. Not a very violent move here. As soon as we start hitting these wicks, though. So, not much action here. You have to wait another 5 minutes. And then the 5-minute traders will jump on that. That would have been the place to get on a limit for the scalp. The spreads stayed pretty good here. I'm on this broker called Uniglobe. I just found. Just running the demo right now. Here is the 5-minute. Still waiting to get filled on this stop out here. Buying these people's stops off them. So that would be a great scalp there. If you had your limits down here, if I had buy limits here for the scalp, you didn't even have to pull the trigger on that. And in the old days, if you try to pull the trigger there, they would say requote because the market's too spastic at that point. Doesn't mean we can't go shearing straight down now. The scalp could be over. Now it's just going to plummet. They're coming after my buy limits here. About to get filled on that. Okay, so we're getting filled here. Next level of fill is here at this fractal, where everybody has their stops. Where people would be selling. Breakout people on the larger time frame, because if you go to the 30, you have a doji. These buy limits are sitting at the 30-minute doji. And there's really there's a top-bottom structure here. There's the 15 doji. There's the 30-minute doji. There's no doji here. It's just nothing, right? Okay, so the scalpers have had their fun. You can see on the 1 minute, they bought that wick and they dumped. Now we could really go to hell in this. I do think this thing's going to hell. I don't know why. Just a huge, it's just, like I said, it's just, there is no, and fundamentally, it doesn't matter who's running that country, honestly. But if you need a reason to trade and a reason to justify your entry, and you can tell your friends and family that, well, you know, I used every ounce of information I could possibly do before I lost all my family's money trading. I even looked fundamentally. But how does the crowd react to the fundamentals? And is that what's really happening? I don't think it is. I think the market moves and then you write the news headlines. You need a story to justify it. Most people say, why did it do that? Oh, because of Trump. So in this Akil Stokes thing is called the Trump trade between the dollar and the yen moving. Well, if the ruble is still trading, like if the ruble is a major currency, you can only imagine, oh, it's the Trump trade. This is stuff that people have so they can have a reason. People want to know a reason, because if you leave them with no reason, no story, they're just twisting in the wind, and they're just gonna end up doing more drugs or something. The pain of not knowing. It's one thing to lose, but you want to know why the market's doing what it's doing, I guess. So there's no more news until, well, when the stocks open, that'll be crazy. And you got the Chicago PMI. At 15 minutes after the stocks open. Still pulling back here, trying to get filled on this the stop hunt, what do we call it? My pending orders at here. See how I'm underwater? See how I chase that? See how the scalpers are making all that money off the top of that ledge? Look at the guy that sold up here. And you know he got filled because you can see the bid here. He's up on that trade. I'm down $3. I just picked up another 2K. I'm in 5K now. And I'm getting in this looks like a buy, but stuff looks right. It looks good, but I just got filled. Now I'm in 6K. They're backing up this thing. Right at the doji now. They just grabbed the stop off of that ledge here. Now we could really come rocketing down into these buys. We got to get some fuel for this move if we're going to make it to that Fibonacci 113. I'm down $4. I'm in 7K. I just called my family. They're going to deposit more money in my account. They believe in me. They don't believe in the markets. They know the markets are rigged and that the broker's trading against me and only the institutions and the big boys are winning. But they believe in me. So they're going to... I've got a little blackmail on them, so I'm going to tell everybody about how out of the fucking mind they are. So they have to deposit money in my account. Okay, so they just stopped that. We just picked up those tickets. We just bought those stops off of the bull stops. And I'm in 7K now. I picked up that whole bank. So why buy up here? Fear of missing out? You want to add more? If you're waiting every 15 minutes to buy at the market, you'd be buying at the market here anyways because it's down. According to buy at the market rules, if it's down, you buy. If it's up, you sell. So, structure, 15-minute structure, you had your buy limit sitting at this top, which is really the body for this hammer doji. Same thing, hammer's a doji. Now you wait. Now we wait. So being stubborn, being impatient, that's everything I am. I had to find a workaround for it. And so the impatient part, I buy at the market, and I had to find a rule for that. Don't chase. Don't buy when it's going up. Don't think, oh, look, it's going up. I'm going to jump on. And then the stubborn part is, the cure for that is to put these limits in and kind of train yourself out of it. So whatever bad habits you have, get yourself out of that by kind of setting your clocks ahead if you're late and just all these little tricks. Now, I could scalp out of what I'm in right now. I'm only down 97 cents. If you're in too big at this point, you do have to cash out. You've got to take this triple entry here, 1 pip apart. You got to get out of that because you told yourself, I want to ride X on the way up. If we go to 113, I want to ride that number. Or you just white knuckle it, hold on until stocks open, until the top of the hour even. You'll see frantic movements at the top of the hour. 5 minutes before and after the top of the hour, you'll see frantic movements. And it's just how it is. Now we could get a meltdown in the CAD. If we go to the 15-minute CAD, it's tough to trade two currencies, especially if you have a take all profits key, because if I take all profits and this thing's up on something, but look at that scalp there on that. You're not doing too good. And the sellers will come in at the floor of that. There's really, this thing looks like a train wreck on the 4 hour, especially if you look at a market like this. This is what it really looks like. And people call that noise, but I call that money. Look at this tag to the round number, 135. That's a 40 pip winner. No brainer trade. See, people have a brain, and they're trying to use it to trade. I mean, Fibonacci, just think of the numbers there. Fibonacci. Poor Fibonacci. He's spinning in his grave right now. You wouldn't believe what they did with my math. People are out there losing their estates trading. Poor Fibonacci. Why not Da Vinci trading? The Da Vinci Code forex trader. We just sent out an alert. We got a buy signal. Holy God, you poor thing. Now we're waiting for it to take out these stops like a zipper, but we don't want to buy on stops here. We've already overpaid up here. Fear of missing out trade was this top one. This one was okay. It pulled back. I bought on the clock. You can't buy now on the 15. It's going up, but it's okay because you got filled here at a structure pivot. The pivot is the doji, and you could see the stop hunt on these wicks here, and you bought those stops off of those people that ran too tight a stop, or maybe you didn't, right? I mean, but you see the fear of like the risk management. You're going to make money from the risk management bots that are running the trailing stops. You buy those off them, and that's you basically trading backwards from everything you were taught. Even these guys at power trading are doing the same thing. Okay, you want to put a stop in there. Where's your stop going to be? And they're trading one ticket. One ticket. How do they do that? See here, I spread my risk. I'm up $1.20 now. I could go home a winner right now. Look, I'm up $1. Now people say, well, that's not a lot of money. Okay, risk more. I'm still in $7,000 of currency. Think about that. I'm controlling $7,000 of currency with $14, 501 leverage, right? That's pretty amazing. You could not buy $7,000 of stock right now in the stock market. You know what you'd need to do that? $7,000. Holy fuck. When I saw Forex, I'm like, what are the people trading stocks for? Well, it's a good company. Have you seen, coming out with a new product? Really? Oh, yeah. Oh, man, I went to their offices. I saw the factory. Okay. How do you know the guys that aren't running the company don't have their head up their ass and they're overpaying for their inventory and they got people sleeping on the job and the union's crushing them? And it's managed by people that got less IQ than you. Oh, well, but look at the chart. Okay. But, that's, you could probably short the market, but you'd have to do that on margin. Unless you own the stock and you wrote a call against it or you bought a put, you're locked into that thing. So now you just wait. Wait for the top of the hour, waiting for the euro to continue on its merry way north. And I think that the dollar CAD is just going to drip down. But that remains to be seen. It does, like, that's a big piece of red news that just came out on this CAD. And what is the news? Let's see what the numbers are. And I like these people are like, well, the numbers look good. It should be going up. What the fuck is that? Who thinks like that? It says here, the gross domestic product for CAD is up. It was estimated to be 0.3, it's 0.5, and it was 0. But you know the thing is that if the U.S. is winning, Canada's going to win because we're interwoven. And if you don't think there's a black market, another thing is that what you don't hear about in the news is all the welfare, digital welfare. You've got these food stamp cards that are digital. They used to be actual food stamps made out of paper. There's a black market. There's an underground economy. That's why the economy hasn't blown up in every country on the planet. Because if people can't MacGyver their life, nothing happens. Most of the stuff that happens that you don't see. How's people are working, they're gaming the system. That's how they're surviving. They're taking advantage of that welfare. In fact, they're double dipping. Where do you think the liquidity comes from to run everything? So the market's just the forex is an amazing thing. How, even if you're lightly trading it, you don't have to be scalping it. Like I said, these people in the coffee shop 10 years ago, 7 years, it was like 10 years ago. Buy that dollar / CAD. Buy that pair. Man, I'm telling you what, I couldn't believe how long it sat down there below par. I just kept telling people, they're looking at an opportunity. Oh, who are you? Some guy in a coffee shop? Okay. But same thing with these stocks. But now people would buy a stock because it's an emotional purchase. Oh, have you seen oh yeah. Man, love it. Love that stock. I've even owned some of their products. Maybe I should have some euros laying around here. Maybe I should have a currency. Somebody mail me like your smallest denomination of currency here and just have it on my desk here and go, yeah, look at that, see? I know what a euro is. You can't trade unless you know what you're trading. Okay, looks like sellers are coming in here on the euro. So we're coming up into this doji now, resistance. So here you would say, should I take all profits? And here's where you're torn, right? Take the money and run part of you says, take the money and run, and the stick with your trade plan says, let this guy keep going up. And which one do you do? And if you're in really big, say I wasn't 13 cents down, but I was up $100 at that point. Depending on what that money means to you, you might just take that money and run, and that's perfectly okay because you could just place buy limits below and do it all over again, and just trade in this little. You could actually make money just on these little moves, right? And then you might miss out, and then maybe you just board the train for a little bit on the giant move, but that all has to do with your pain threshold. And Akil Stokes in that video says, you have to take a little bit of pain here. See, he's pain adverse, he's risk adverse. It's all the things you don't want to be. You need to be able to take some punishment, what people would say, the pain. The more pain you take, the more you win. But people aren't. Financial pain is even worse, I think, than. Like if somebody stole your car, is that different than somebody stealing cash? If they stole cash, you can't call the insurance company and go, maybe, I don't know if you could insure your cash, maybe you can't. But what if they stole your car, you're like, that car was old anyways. People steal cash from you, psychologically different. Here, we're pulling back on the... Oh, I should have got out there. Damn. But see, if you're in for the long haul, but you can see where the sell, you could see where you could have got out right there. But I think I just let it go until top of the hour. We got 42 minutes till the stock's open. We'll come back to this drama. So here I'm up on the day. I could bail right now. It's in an uptrend from all... now this looks like a good entry now in hindsight, right? But I took the trade. Like, it's not hindsight trading. Let's stop it with the hindsight. So there. And I'm trading real money on this too. Here is that 3K was filled. And I'm up $4. Now that may not be a lot of money, but it could be $4 grand. And what I would do, I would just trade the same size ticket. I would just put more tickets in. So I would have bought the market. 1Ks, I'd buy at the market. You'd stop buying now. The last 15 minutes you stop buying, and you're going to ride what you're in. If we take out the high of the day here, we'll get enough fuel to cut through. Here's our target at 113, way up here. This is the 50-yard line. At 1250, sellers should come in. The guys that scalp that wick, they're still up on that trade, but they have to know when to get out. So just because you sold up here doesn't mean you're going to hold that till the euro goes to par either. Sellers should come in up here at this, right here, for another scalp pullback. So we're on the half hour. Top of the hour, we could get a pop here. And by the time stock's open, we could be ripping up. And then it could reverse right when stock's open. CAD's kind of dead in the water, trying to hold support. 30-minute CAD. Looks scary. In fact, right here you could have bought for a scalp. Or no, that was the original scalp, but it's very fragile here. And so everybody's on 30. If we start taking out the low of the day here, and then my buy limits start to come in super deep, see? Those last for 8 hours, I think. And you could pick how long those are going to last, but I think that's going to be a good scalp bounce trade. Because if you look at structure-wise, I'm going to start buying right around support and beyond. So that'll be interesting. 5 minutes before the top of the hour, we should see some drama. 5 minutes before and after, typically. And then the cash will open here in 35 minutes. Alrighty then, so the stocks are open. Cash is open. Here we go. Dollar CAD screaming up. If you bought down here at support on the 4 hour, I still think it's doomed. Here I'm underwater a little bit on some of this. I was up. Here's resistance on the 15-minute euro to the dollar. Still looking to take out the high. So we're just holding. We could have scalped out here and reloaded, and then we repay the spread. So 5 minutes, we're going to find out. Sellers should be coming in here, and really I should put some, let's see, view the, we want to see the navigator, so I'm going to put some sell limits up here in a more precise way. Right above that, we'll start selling all the way up for the scalp. Always for the scalp first, then the swing, follow through. Okay. We go 4 hour to 4 hour, apples to apples, you know, funk to funky. You know, Major Tom's a junkie. So, we'll wait, see what happens. I apologize. I got some do-gooder in the neighborhood with a weed whacker. Whoever invented the weed whacker should be taken into a room and beaten to death. Get a clippers out. You know, all these tree huggers should be selling clippers with organic handles, so we can go back to old school clip, 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 weed whacker. God, it sounds like a drone that's crashing continually out here. What the fuck? So here we are. We held through the drama. We're still holding the euro. They're pulled back on the CAD. Right, sellers came in up here. Go figure. I think the CAD's doomed. I don't know why. I think dollar yen's doomed. So got buy limits really deep on dollar yen. I might get filled tonight, maybe. One day. Wait. I'm long dollar. I'm long the British pound. I'm long the euro. We're in a grueling 15-minute trend trade here on the dollar versus the euro versus the dollar. And I say it's kind of grueling. This is the top bottom we got in here, and we're looking for this to get her done. So we're going into the vacuum now to the north side. The dollar is pulling back. Dollar CAD looks like it's ready for another lunge up, but this is on the back burner for sell limits. Now the question is, where do I start getting out of this thing? I'm up. The sellers should be coming in. The dollar's getting crushed. I put buy limits on the dollar yen starting at 110 even, because the dollar yen could take out the wick from last month today. When new home sales come out, we could see dollar yen drop about 75 pips. I'd start buying there for a retrace trade, but as it's dropping, I would try to gauge the entry here. There's probably some dead cat bounces you could trade. It's too late for me to sell the dollar yen. If you're short from the 112, I would hold on to it. So when to hold them, when to fold them. Look at 112 pivot on dollar yen. Right? I should put the screen up, I guess. Am I talking like I think this is like a live broadcast or some shit? Yeah, look at it now. Oh, we looked at it. We talking about. Put it right here. So dollar yen, right? This is everybody trades this shit, right? Chart. So I just load for my template here. I range vertically. And just go here. Template 1. And this is my, now look at them punish this. Now, to me, you could sell this. It is tanking, right? It's going to tank. It's baked. But I'm going to buy based on the monthly wick here we're coming after now. So you really could get killed on this if you buy too early. If you're short, you might wait to the end of the day. See, this is a tough judgment call. If you sold the double top on the clearly delineated in closing prices, none of this. See, this is a single top. The problem here is or you could combine the fractal, but you'd have to wait till it completed. So double tops, there's a double top. Here's your first trend line you can draw in the daily dollar. So you should establish your first momentum, right, failure swing, they call it. And look at dollar Canada is ready for another lunge up. Obviously on the 15. But you're waiting to get filled here, so you open up your trusty grid box and just start putting orders in. Now, this is just going to take a little bravery. You are going to need put the big boy pants on for this. So I'm risk 20 pips to make 40 pips, but I need to buy down here because for that to be a realistic trade, it needs to come down into that and then ricochet up. So if it's going to be a scalp trade, you got to predefine that risk. Okay, I'll risk 20 pips to make 10 pips on 5K. I'll put it right here. So I know what style, I know what I'm looking for here, and if you hit F8 on the keyboard, you'll be able to find where your tickets are a little bit better. Fix a scale. Now you come like this. Now you start to look at the market and price-wise. Forget all the Gartleys and all that stuff, and you're just looking for price. So your inventory down here, the supply zone possibly beyond this wick. Now, if you want to set it and forget it and be a slob, you would just place this risk 20 to make 10. That's doable. That's a high probability. We're going to come down here. In fact, we could just lay this in and play every bounce as we crush. I'm presupposing you've got $1 million in your account. Now, you really start buying heavy beyond this wick. We'll risk 15 to make 30. We'll start buying in no duplication in order. So to keep you from duplicating, you need to look at the total depth of the market. This is that level 2 shit people talk. But you're going to be the guy with those orders pending. People are looking at your fucking orders going, this guy's buying down here? What? So you're going to get stopped out of here. Do you want to start buying even more here? And have a, now you're creating a master stop, which is picking out, this is your palette of colors, your risk palette, your trade book plans. You could add on to this. There's no end to it. Risk 80 pips to make 60 pips down here. Now that's a logarithmic entry. That could last. This is the one I launched in the last video when I went out to have a cup of tea. Now, I could just keep laying this in and overlapping that. So you're just putting all this inventory. You're ordering all this stuff. Right? Isn't the essence what you're really doing? You want to be a warehouse of tickets. Okay, let me take these off a little. Try to dial that down to a. So now I'm running out of disk space, of screen space. But here, look at, I'm not going to sell into that unless I was on the 5-minute chart. The only place to board this train is going to be on an ATR breakout. So you missed this one. Okay, we're inside that. We've fallen into the abyss. Anything below this price, people are like, holy shit. Now the scalpers are going to get out right at that. Their target's here. Does this engulf the whole day? It could. This could literally be nothing but, in retail speaking, it's the stop hunt. The scalpers are gobbling this up. They're going to bail their 5-minute chart. 10-minute trade. In fact, if you bought down there, you might be getting out right now. If you bought really heavy into this, you'd be like, I'm out. It's going to tank. Okay, now the wheels are going to come off. We're sitting right. We just took out yesterday's low. Here's where the wheels could really come. See, we just nicked it. And the scalpers, you don't need to be on the 5-minute chart to scalp. See, I've scalped many times on this daily chart because why would you give a fuck? Your brain's going to come unwrapped when you look at the 1-minute chart. If you're down at that level, it's like double bottom, should I buy? Oh, I don't know, let me check the. No, you trade the daily, scalp the daily. It wouldn't have mattered. See the scalp down here? You're just like 1 pip. People can't believe this. 1 pip. See, the scalp's over. Now we start coming into your buy limits. Now you can go take a nap. I'll buy here. 20 pip range, I'll buy here. All day long, right? We don't have to babysit this shit. Think of it as 10 Gartleys. 10 scanners saying, oh, my scanner says here. Oh, my scanner says here. What does your scanner say, Johnny? Buy low, sell high. If you give a fuck about some pinpoint entry, you're never going to, you're not, like, no car would ever, you design your own car, build your own car, right? At that point, you can't go to the dealership because you'll be like, well, I've got a car you wouldn't believe. And they're like, yeah, well, we don't stock those. Even that doesn't work in the real world. So this utopian view, okay, this is, you're seeing postmodernism come out of these people that are, and Todd Brown probably went to school. His name's Todd Brown. He's the founder of Empowered Trading. And you watch his videos, you're like, this is Stapleton without the good looks. Todd Brown's probably not as good looking as Stapleton, so they hooked up, right? This is the old Jerry Lewis, this is Lewis Martin formula. One guy's a straight guy, the other guy's, cut up. The Stapleton videos, the originals, were like in a room like this dream man cave. I don't know. And of course, it was okay for couples to watch it because he's hot enough that and even gay guys are probably tuning in for Stapleton. So, not being Hollywood-esque myself, so I have to have fun with that, because it's really the nerd. It's Revenge of the Nerds. You ever see that movie? This is Revenge of the Nerds meets forex. Think of it like that. If you're having a problem, one guy said, "Why did you do that video?" It's like, man, you got a sense of humor, don't you? What are you doing later? So you're still crushing down on this now. You missed your scalp. This is where it just keeps on tanking. Now, this is, some guy emailed me. He says, well, I'm just getting killed. Okay, this is the part that's going to be difficult. If you're trading this style, you got to be very careful. You're catching a falling knife, in essence, but you need enough fingers, each ticket's a finger, to catch this thing plunging, because this thing can, now if you're selling right now, I wouldn't blame you, because on the 1 minute chart, it has a small ATR. Here's the triangle on the 1 minutes, right? You got to be on this train now. You'd have to be on the 1 minute chart. If you see some big ass candle, go to the 1 minute chart immediately. Look, the scalpers are coming in. See, this is your dead cat bounce. If you had a ticket, okay, cashed out. Scalp's over. 1 minute scalp done. You just banked 20 bucks. Now you've got some little orders still lingering right now on the 1 minute dollar yen. What's the trade? Hold. Based on the size. And some guy did ask me, well, what about the size? What's the margin? This is continually changing all the time, and I'm already cashed out. See, I was in 7. I'm only in 3K now. I'm still up on this trade. Now, I should have got out. If it was a scalp, I would have definitely got out up here. Why? Because you're coming up into this ledge. You see what caused that trade? The last known high on the ledge. These are ledges. Joe Ross. That's a ledge. Look how tight that ticket was. You got in that. If you place your order on the top of the 4-hour bar, you're up on this trade right now. Do you realize that? People say it's algorithm. It's algorithm. It's money management algorithms. There's a stop bot coming in behind, and this is also based on volatility. Here's your exit, clearly defined. Last known fractal turnaround. Scalp. You just scalped that. Or some of you just took profits. Now, we could have had to take profit key. We could go flat. We'd be up in the whole day. It'd be considered a scalper, really. I think I'd consider myself a scalper, but there's so many more of these to come. There's 2 solid days left in trading. Look at that, scalpers making money on that trap. 4-hour chart. You don't have to go, you can scalp off a 4-hour. You could have just looked at this and said, this is the daily. And you could just say, oh my God. You could have just placed a random grid up there and captured that. How did you size it? Did you put 5 fat orders leading up to that? Because it may not make it. You could have started selling. And so how did you know where to start your sell banks? Well, off of that Gumpster turnaround fractal, you're up on every ticket right now. Hello. See how that works? Stupid, right? But you got to know the party's over. This thing's going up. Scalps are over. Do I need to go to the 5-minute chart to realize that? Not if I was a disciplined trader and said I'm getting out here at the breakout. Breakout, pull back to the breakout. Okay, go to the 5-minute chart. You're supposed to buy every 5 minutes it's down in an uptrend, so you should have been long on 2 here. The trend traders are holding. That's me. Trend trader today. Okay, here comes the dollar. Like small ATRs, the stop bot just got in the 1 minute. He's slightly up. He's cashing out. 5 minute. Crush down. Sell stops here. Get in like a retail Gumpster right here. This is a goober entry. Sell at the market now. Maybe you're wrong. At least I'm not good at selling. So I would sell. Anybody who's a seller, right? This is a sell. You sell every 5 minutes up in a downtrend. You sold last 5 minutes was your last entry. Okay, now we're going to come down to Crushville, and the wheels are going to come off this puppy. We just took out yesterday's low. Now we're crushing in. If we can take out this, but I'll buy into that. Now this is risky because I'm figuring the momentum's going to die out by the time we start approaching this. Everybody's aware of this, and the robots, that's all they care about is this. Even on the daily, there's pure liquidity below, all the way down to this. You want to buy like a whore. Okay, you just want to, but see, you can't get people to trade because they're, you say the word money, you just lost half, the people in the room. What is this, a scam? What's going on here? And that poor inner circle trader, I don't get it. Like, I don't know. I guess, I don't know. You should let people build their own accounts, right? But I don't know what people's motivations are. But some people don't have this. They're not really trying to. I don't know. You do what you know, right? That's what they say. You do what you know. And everybody's different. Everybody has weaknesses and strengths. And when you figure out that you're stubborn, you need to build a trade plan built for stubborn people, I guess. So I'm waiting to get filled on these buy limits. I may not get it. And here's where you could go to if you wanted to start watching the momentum die, maybe this is it. Okay, they've trapped the breakout traders on this 5-minute breakout. If you just sold here really big thinking, oh yeah, it's going to tank, you could be in a heap of trouble. So you would have to get stopped out here. You have a trailing stop on your 5-minute robot or your mechanical. You are the robot, be the bot, and you just are just hoping they don't stop you out of this. And as soon as that white line, which is the ask, comes up and touches that wick, you're out. If your stop's literally at bid. This is the 5-minute dollar yen. Okay, so we're still clipping now. We're making new highs. I'm trend trading the 5-minute euro. We're long. We bought on two contracts here. We're holding from the original buys down here and plunge when we plunged. The targets are, there's no targets, okay. These are my buy at the markets because I don't have a script right now. If I had a script that bought at the market and took a precise amount, but I'm actually trading in a demo, so I'm just nakedly in. But I'm long real money on my other account. And I'm waiting to get filled. Here comes the crushing blow on the, now you're killing it here, right? But where do you get out? If you're up like 1,000 right now, I'd hold for the next 1 minute, because the 5-minute momentum robots are going to come. If they see divergence on that, if you're on RSI, so somebody asked me about RSI. You run three-period RSI? If you're an indicator trader, the cleanest indicator in the world has to be RSI. 3-period, which Andrew Cardwell uses that. He smooths it out. I don't smooth it. When I saw his class on this, I just said, that's it. Now you make sure it's on close. This is all you ever need. You can see all the reversals in here. You can see all the divergences very clearly. Here's divergence, see? Momentum's dying. Will it hold? So that ATR, the last 5 minutes, okay, looks like buyers could come in here for scalp, but they may only pull it up to this last known low. See the divergence kicking in right now? So it's very easy to spot divergence in closing prices. If these were candles, I don't know if you could do it. Okay, so the dollar's dropping like a rock here. I think we're going to take that divergence out. But it is there. Scalpers, there'll be some activity here. But you can see this is where you're torn. You have divergence. Should I hold? I've got to stop up here. What's my time target? What's my pip target? Where is the... and you're also here, if you project your channel, if you do channel trading, right now you're at the bottom of this channel. Right? But that's just because, right, you're actually out of it. Here's the actual channel. But you can see this channel blown out. How many times have you seen a channel blown out? So just because you have a channel here doesn't mean it's going to... The market can't see your channel, right? That's something you constructed, because you could have just as easily constructed a channel off of this low and say, well, here's a reason to get in, right? But it doesn't mean this can't just keep collapsing into no man's land. Also, RSI and the 3-period RSI, here's your confirmation entry. Although the wick would have stopped you because RSI is on close, but notice the inversion here. You have a more overbought and a lower price. These two connect the dots. And what caused this? This was a beautiful divergence entry on the 4-hour, just by on the clock right here, dead on. Divergence causes the reversal. This is a negative reversal. Andrew Cardwell, negative reversals. You know, on the you see how there's a reversal here before the collapse. If you drill down, you compare this index. It's very subtle in here, but triple top reversal, right? It's drifting up. It's the backdraft of a down move. It's momentum. This is a momentum indicator based on close. The simplicity of it's just incredible. And you could just buy below 30. If you have a trade plan to buy below 30, which means you only pull the trigger every 4 hours, it's below 30. If you did that twice here, you would have got in early and get a little crushed, because you can't see down here maybe, but this, if you really look at this indicator and the way it behaves, and it's on close, so, but yeah, they're going to smash this through the floor now. Here we go. So the 5-minute reversal, this divergence is going to fail. If you have a buy stop above, though, you're getting in defensively on a small ATR coming back. So if it does work out, you could get picked up on a buy stop. If you're waiting for the next 5 minutes, we have 1 minute before the top of the hour, we could get a psycho spike. I mean, 10 minutes after the, so I'm sorry, 10 minutes after the top of the hour. Every 5 minutes matters, especially when a market's dropping this viciously and you're staring down a monthly wick here, possibly hitting into this today. And look at this. Well, there's no reversal here. See, it's hard to get signals. And the thing is, you can't see any signals unless you zoom out here on RSI. Here's a beautiful divergence in RSI. Take a look at this. Closing prices. Massive divergence. Right here, double top. And look how outstretched that is. It's hard to believe. It takes a while to even believe that this here high in RSI, this mountain peak, is referencing this peak. And if you notice the buying opportunity, if you compare this price, this doji, which caused this to this, more oversold, higher price. That's RSI saying, get the fuck in that trade. This would be wave 4. For any Elliotician that's trying to find the waves, wave 4, wave 5 failure, divergence. ABC correction possibly, but no, it just keeps tanking. If you go to the daily, I'm just looking for divergences in the history, so you can identify divergence. You could also run divergence on lows to get in on a robot or a people bot that's going to sell the crotch in here. You have trailing sell stops. You'll have divergence in lows if you plotted the lows of RSI down here. Okay, this is a real grind. We're waiting for possible news here. Well, the news that came out, right? 9:45. So news has been coming out, but it's not about news. It's just about the market just looking for somebody to buy it. Nobody wants this thing. And look at here. Half hour, oversold. Now you could buy in the clock here if you wanted to try to scalp it. 5-minute divergence, kicking in. Buy stops. You're getting filled mechanically here. This was, if you were short here, you see divergence. Got to get out of some. But this is setting up for another sell. The scalpers come into here. If we end up at the end of this 5 minutes, more overbought at a lower price than this, and you've got a top become a bottom. Now, it rarely shows up, but that's the setup. Buyers are coming in. It's losing momentum on close. It's taking a breath. This is a detour. In the next 2 minutes, if this thing's right here, you can best believe people that bought down here on that divergence are getting the fuck out because they know. Divergence is just a detour in a downtrend. So this is why people get killed on divergence. I used to buy divergence and hold it, not realizing there might be another retest. So RSI, you can see how here it looks like a mess, but actually if you drill down on this, this is the 5 minute. If you're going to buy at the 30-yard line on RSI, you know, if you're trading at the market and you have your finger on the trigger, you know the trade. And this is just, you keep buying here, buy below 30, right? That's your filter. I buy below 30 and I dump. I sell above 70 and I dump. But the thing is, Andrew Cardwell says, is that if you're spending a lot of time up here, you're in an uptrend. As soon as you fall below the floor and now you start to go into where the market can't get above a certain number. And also, this is like fair value in RSI. As soon as you come back up into fair value, sellers come in. You go down into uncharted water. Here's where people get trapped on it. It's so oversold that why won't it come back up? And that's the... but maybe it will, right? It's drifting up now. So here comes the scalpers are going to bail right here at the top bottom. We have to close here, but we could totally engulf it now. This could be a huge trap. Don't forget, this is just trapped everybody here, and scalpers probably be taking it to this 4-hour wick now. Where the floor was taken out. We could come so you could scalp on, you didn't have to be on that other, you could just have traded pure pip, amount of pips you wanted to buy. Okay, so we're drifting up here, and this is a boring trade here. Now we're getting clobbered. See, we should have sold here on divergence. If I would have put RSI on here, we'd see divergence, right? But you got to be quick on your toes. You got to grab these on the 5. If you're trading RSI on a 5-minute chart with 3-period RSI, you need to be quick on your trigger. See, there was divergence, right? A 5-period RSI, okay, but you go to a 7-period RSI, there's no divergences to trade. What's the fucking point? So here's almost a reversal falling down. See here, almost more overbought, and a 2 to 5 period is the most powerful trade. This is the doji breakout. You see, here is the buy signal in RSI. You know this low exists. When we dip below here, but the price, I guess this turns into an indicator class in RSI, but RSI is too much fun. If you compare this low here, you find that low in the chart, and you have an uptrend, right? Anything above here, more were sold at a higher price. Time to buy that pullback in particular. And it almost gives you a top becoming a bottom right there. But don't worry, because this is always going to be a good price here again in the future, because it was a launching pad for that whole thing. So if you take into account the concept of when the more oversold RSI is at a higher price than previous, This is where you get the inversion. In an uptrend, you got to load up here. More oversold at a higher price than where you've attached the RSI. So you're looking for that situation, and you just got it here, right? More oversold and almost a higher price. Now, some brokers would give you a more perfect looking setup. Also, if you really want to get in before everybody, this is your trend line. Here's the divergence. Caused the buy signal. So we have a zigzag climb of momentum, the breadth of the market. When it takes a breath here, and it's also trapped, the money management bots have been stopped out. So you're just buying here on Wix alone. But RSI, I'm telling you what, man. If you're going to trade an indicator, plus you've got this nice, I call this the transverse index. When I first started to really get, I guess I had RSI-itis, but it's just so beautiful. If you take this and drag it, it just gives you every potential, and you just watch it unfold. It's going to walk through these. This is your momentum index. Tops become bottom RSI. So when tops become bottoms in RSI, and a bottom becomes a top, when you, the guy that taught me, he's looking at this. He's saying, you see this bottom, it becomes a top. Now on the 5-period RSI, it's a perfect top bottom. He's trading the RSI. He is trading the indicator because it's on closing prices. You're indexing the market. You ever heard of a stock index? Okay, this stuff is all so simple that it seems really unbelievable how stupid trading really is. It's an insult. I'm frankly insulted how stupid it is. Because I think that I want to, since it's an intellectual world, you want to, people make a lot of money being an attorney. And I could never read those books, I'd fall asleep, but think about that gig. You get a retainer. People give you money just to fucking start thinking about your case. Here's like 10 grand, what do you think? I don't know, here's your money back. You're a fucking axe murderer, dude. I don't care how much money this gig pays. How do these people defend these people? Man, you got to be on some drugs to process that later on at night. We just defended Jeffrey Dahmer. You did, but it's okay. I've justified. I'm trading forex now. I'm losing in the market, so I feel like I'm congruent. So the RSI, yeah, I mean, but you've got to be trading the RSI. And when you see how it behaves, you can actually see the setup coming. As it comes more, now look how the RSI is backing off more than the price right now. I don't know if you saw that. The real-time update, you know, RSI-aholic. Love RSI. I don't show it to people because it's so, if you don't understand momentum breath, and just that it's really, you have to take every signal you see, and you are going to, if you don't, you are going to lose. In other words, the idea that you have an indicator means that you're going to be more righter. So you think, oh, then I got to trade bigger because I'm so right. These divergences are amazing, and you can scalp divergences all day long. It does keep you trading on the clock, though. It does keep you aware of time. And Andrew Cardwell did it by hand. And that's his big secret because he had his brain into it. He'd write down the numbers here. The RSI number here is a top becoming a bottom on RSI. We have a bottom becoming a top in RSI. We're walking back down, possibly. This could be done. It could be toast. And we could come all the way back to this before we really go up today. Right now, we have to hold this price. RSI is below that right now. So we're in a reversal. We're in a lower momentum. Price is still above this. What would be really great is if it came down here and you got a divergence on the 5 minutes, and on the 15, you're seeing, see, there's no trade here on the 15 unless you're going to draw a trend line on this and say, oh, when it gets to here. But this is clock trading. It's great. If you trade at the market, it's great. RSI is great because it's a very disciplined approach. Another stop hunt. Gobble up these tickets. We still got a we have a buy signal now because RSI is below this price. So we just keep, every time it's down, you keep buying below that price. So I'm referencing this. More oversold than that price right there. So if you're going to put a vertical line on here, you've got to do it like, if you're going to tag this part, you got to do it on here and drag it. So you'd mark this off. Is your momentum swing low? You put that together with volatility, you've got a really serious killer, but I don't think I get a robot to program. So we're going to mark off this fractal. And then we're going to do the X here, crosshairs here. Anytime we're below here, we buy. If we're going to draw the trend line, plus it tells us where to draw the trend line. Our side tells you that has to hold for this to be true. And we have a trend line on RSI. We're anticipating a break of the divergence trend line. We're way ahead of the market here. So we're getting in super early and a little dangerous in a way. Okay, dollar yen's crushing down. Coming into my scalp bank. The British pound is going after the highs of the week. About to take out weekly highs here on the British pound. I don't have it on my screen, but trust me. And dollar yen's getting clobbered. So let's see if that setup worked out. Sellers came in here. We have confirmation reversal on RSI. See, divergence causes reversal. Sellers came in and they actually popped, these scalpers were able to take it into an attempt and engulf of that. Okay, divergence again, you got to buy it back. So you got to get out of your shorts right here. If you're a scalper, you're out. That's all there is to it. And look, they just nicked the low of the day. Somebody just bought the low of the day for a scalp. Are they going to get smashed? I think they will. So I would stay in this trend based on this reversal, and this is going to give you the trend line to project off of this. Once it breaks above that, and you start to get divergences that start to actually kick in, then you're looking to get in. In other words, this is going to be an Elliott wave. This would be wave 2 or 4 in a downtrend. It's the pullback. It's the Elliott wave is thrusting on odd numbers. Okay, 1 is the first bounce, then 2's pullback, 3, right? So it's an odd thrust. Not good in the real world, but that's how they're counting it. And the ABC, A is a price pulse thrust, and so is C. C wave can be a huge moneymaker because it's really the third wave. Right? The third wave, it's 1, 2, 3. It's a 1, 2, 3 punch because the third punch, the cause for the effect is we go up, we pull back, and then hopefully that is the biggest of all moves. So I had this when I was losing money. I said, well, I'll just trade wave 3. Fuck all the other waves. Wave 5 is kind of a failure swing. And this isn't an idealized Elliott wave. Anybody who's in an Elliott wave would understand what I'm talking about. So I've been through the but in Bob Prechter's book, I think he makes it about that consolidation is wave 4, and that's the point. See, look at this divergence kicking in. So that's why you had to get out. If you're a scalp, not divergence really. It's not true real divergence because we didn't get the price to come down here. If you're still holding here, unfortunately, if you sold here, you're break even now. That's why if you're on the 5-minute chart, you got to be pretty nimble, I think, to make it worth your while. We're getting severe pullback here. So now we're buying. Or we just place buy limits. And that's what I just came and I said, well, you know what? I don't want to babysit it, so I'm just going to throw orders in on pullback. I'll just buy from here down on limits. You're going to do it anyways, right? I knew what I was going to do anyways. That's what I'm saying. I know I would sit here and buy at the market because I like the idea that I'm killing something right in front of me. There's kind of a satisfaction of buying at the market. But then I thought, well, just buy one at the market and then just put the rest down here because I know they're going to crush it all the way back to the starting gate. We could come back to here easily, right? But this is the trend trader's dilemma. Or even the swing trader's dilemma. Do I hold it? Do I add here? My system says buy. Anything below this node, this doji. And anticipating a trend line break. Here, somebody told me they were doing Albert Brooks. Everybody has something they can bring to the party. Albert Brooks' biggest, what I agree with him, is anticipate the next trade. But even in his thing, he says beginners should never trade on limits. No, I think that's the way you should start so you can make money, not feel discouraged. The confirmation entry is Al Brooks' trading. That's my biggest big argument with this guy. Because he just wouldn't accept the fact that he could be wrong. Because he had Albert Brooks itis or something. But everybody has something to bring to the game. I'm just saying that what's going to make it work is that if you are a person that trades it here at British Pound's killing it now. Okay, so British Pound looks like we're going to slice through into heaven, and here comes the Euro dollar to answer that question. So buying here, you would be long 2K right there if you're conservative, and I never got filled on those, but I bought at the market. But I was anticipating, which Albert Brooks is anticipating stuff. I got a nice diversification of risk here. I can take some punishment. I won't feel the pain. We're starting to break the trend line on RSI. We can draw our first trend line on price for the first time. So see, RSI is ahead of it because our first trend line was on divergence. So we're ahead of the crowd. We're getting in early. We broke this trend line, but it doesn't matter because just like that scanner shit that Carney wrote, you just drag this down. Okay. This is a manual scanner. You have not violated this trend. This is the true momentum. Now we could copy that and we could do a fantasy projection, but just do it off this low, right? Don't do it off the highs. Make an Andrew's pitchfork out of it, right? Give yourself a channel that's realistic. Yeah, sellers are going to come in at this midpoint. Don't think it's going to go all the way to here all in one day. Okay, so we're still holding. British Pound's killing it. We just hit 129 even. We're crushing down in the we're crushing down here into the lows on the yen's falling apart. So it's a good idea. Look, another is still holding that trend line on close. Okay, they're going to crush this puppy. Looks like we could get a severe. I don't know if they just came out with some news. Okay, I'm cashing out of British Pound, I think, right at the round. Dump that pound at the round, baby. So yeah, the pound, I'm getting out. It's just too good to be true. Okay, so there you go. I'm out of the pound. Still holding the euro dollar. And looking to get filled on limits on this yen. I'm too excited to buy super deep, but I don't know, man. Should be buying right now. Look at this divergence. Oof. So let me scalp out of this platform here. Gosh, I kind of want to buy that there. Just looks amazing, but I'm still in the, see, it's all commingled in one account here, so I really can't do that. I'm long this thing, I think. I'm long there with no stops. I'm long the euro with no stops. And my CAD, how's it doing? I'm selling the CAD up here. Okay, I got filled on the CAD. That's where I'm seeing the... So I could scalp this right now. We're above the round number. We're probing into this thing. I should be scalping out. See, the problem is it's all commingled in the same account. You don't want to mix all this stuff together. See, I should be getting out of that. And you could have scalped that just on pure price. Anything above 135 is a good sell. Okay, the market's coming back now. So I'm going to get out of this CAD. This is where it's hard to manage. It is hard to manage this many tickets, right? Look for all the CAD trades, and I'll pluck these off. You own a coffee shop. Somebody just came in, they just bought a cup of coffee, and you sold $5 of coffee. After you pay your utilities, the coffee's the cheapest part of that whole rig. You got the coffee cup, you got the staff, you got a $3,000 espresso machine or $10,000 espresso machines, right? Making payments, guys come in and fix it. It's got 3 ports. I mean, this is like owning a real business. You're just not going to make a zillion unless you're not selling car. I mean, right? If you're just starting out, you don't need to make. I mean, you just can't be greedy. So they're backing off the pound. You're up about 20 pips if you scalped at the round on the pound. So here, you know, I'm just getting out of that because I have so many sells above that if we keep cutting north, I just put the sells here at the wicks, right? Just put orders up there. Who cares? You've got money in the account now. We're still getting fills here. Look at, I'm getting filled on all these limits finally. Look at that. Beautiful. I'm going to buy at the market. Still got, you're buying here. Buy at the market. Look at all the way back to the starting gate. Go figure. And maybe it's done. Don't forget, they trapped everybody in the 4-hour. You could have scalped the 4-hour here, see? There's so many trades out here. My God, man. This is the set it and forget it. You just put sell limits here, starting at this wick. You're up on that trade already. RSI 3 period on. Here's the 15-minute. We got our first 15-minute reversal. More oversold. Higher price. This is the trend line. If this RSI closes below the 30, it's a perfect 15-minute buy at the market. Every 15 minutes you're risking X. Right? You're referencing this price here. You're in reversal territory. If this closes below that, you're buying. You got a top, double top becoming a bottom on the 15. They have to come back here and get enough fuel for the ride. So I will buy at the market on limits. It looks like the buyers came into the yen, so I'm not going to get my fills down there. And I'd have to get out of my shorts if I'm short. Look at how they just engulfed this whole thing. See, now not really divergence, but they just blew that out. So you got to take the money and run. The scalpers are killing it. They bought the new low. Do you see the new low here? RSI doesn't matter when you have a buy limit sitting down here. And you step in front of the market with a buy here, retest. You're buying a double bottom on limits. How's that working for you? You just cleaned up. You just cleaned up on that trade. Now we can engulf. Where's the exit now? All right. Dollar CAD. Is it going to go up? Oh, yeah. See, you had to scalp out of that. Look at it come back to the 135. It's storming north. I had a sell plan and a buy plan. My buy plan has never failed. My sell plan did. Right? We're always going to sell high and buy low. We don't give a fuck. You just can't give a fuck, man. Can't care. But I care about people. Okay, Johnny, you just blew up the account. Stop caring. Look at this. See, divergence works. Tops didn't become a bottom. See, when the thing's down in Disneyland, don't forget trap traders here on the 4 hour. You buy new lows into the wick. That's that trade, right? Look at that. You're already out of the trade. Right? You bought all the way into that. Your exit was here. You just cashed out. Well, it may come all the way back to here, but when I go like this and say, oh, I'll buy down there and do the same trade plan. This is another thing that's hard to believe. You could just keep trading this all day long. Buy low, sell high, built in. Now it could really sell off, right? The 5-minute chart. It's overbought. More overbought at a lower price. So now you're looking at it like this now. And here's the transverse index. Now you're more overbought at a lower price. I'm referencing this launching pad. This is the seller's view. Still more overbought at a lower price. People that bought the floor, people that bought this thinking it was support are just like, holy God, as soon as it comes back up, I got to dump. The scalpers that got out here, that was the time low, and this is the wick low on the 4 hour. But look at how it turns on a dime here. So that 4 hour candle has a 1 hour close inside of it. Screaming down. You bought at the market, you rode it all the way up. So you see this entry, more oversold, higher price, top becomes a bottom, right? Total failure on that. You made money, but oh boy. But this is the trend line that needs to hold, and it doesn't. It becomes a top based on momentum. No divergence even on this top. But look at the sell. Lower price. More overbought, lower price. Sell in the big picture. See this reversal? More overbought, lower price. Top becomes a bottom from the previous. You were anticipating a break of momentum here. So you got short, not on this trendline break, but on this trendline break in RSI that happened up here. You see, you're in before the crowd on RSI. It's a leading indicator. I can't even get it to break there, but it broke. Here it closed down through. You're selling up here. So you're in before everybody. Then when it comes down here for this close, it bounces up to where you got in. But you're not selling here on breakouts like a goober. Let's see, bottom comes top. It's like a momentum wedge thing. But this is what gives you the launching pad. You see this top become a bottom here. It's holding the trend line on RSI. You can make that argument, but it's all working in this momentum box. So the buyers are coming in here. 5-minute chart says it's going up. First chance to buy on pullbacks. But you got top, bottom order sitting here. Buy limit pending probably. Now here's where you got to be careful. Put a retest order in like this. Put an order in like that. I've actually got a ton of orders in there, but I'm just saying if you're going to be a one-trick pony. And you're looking at this situation where break a trend line, RSI comes back to retest that. That's your excuse to get in there. You need excuses to trade, honestly. If this trend line doesn't hold, you know, this is where sellers should come in, but they're really going to come in at this floor here. So if you're long, your first target's going to be here. Second target's going to be here. Damn, I can't get that to draw. What did I do wrong? Okay. So I guess it's running too long on the tape here. It's choking the software. Dollar CAD's going up into my cells. Go figure it. So bullish as hell here. About to get filled on the sell bank. I'm using that as a scalp. Still getting a signal here to buy the euro dollar, so I'll buy more. Buy on limits. Buy at the market. I don't think they're done raping that dollar yen though. Killer scalp of 20 pips clean if you sold at 129 on the pound right now. This guy is just going ballistic. So we're hunting down these wicks up here. I'm putting set it forget starting at the top of that wick. So I'm really going to trade heavy here. This will be the golden psycho spike we can possibly capture up here. May not even make it. I think this is very conservative actually because it doesn't really start selling like a whore until you get about above this what the money managers would be looking at with the money management bots, stuff that people just let manage their money. The bears will be triggered there to cash out. So trailing. Okay, so the pound looks like it could take a lunge up, and I'm going to buy. But see, I don't have to buy at the market because I'm buying this top become a bottom on all these limits, and I think I got filled on all these tickets. So now I'm in 30K just by, like I said, I knew I was going to buy if it pulled back. So if you know you're going to do something, just do it in advance, I suppose. Here's another more oversold higher price on the 5-minute, right? If you could put, there's a platform out of the States, there's, it's called CMS Trading, and they let you put orders on the indicator. But I ran it once on a slow computer, and it almost brought the whole computer to a screeching halt. But it lets you literally place orders on the indicator. It's hysterical. So here's the top bottom in RSI. We're looking for that to fail. RSI engulfs that. Well, the trend line's already broke. So we're long on, you could put an order here at the break of that trend line. We just took out this bottom that should become a top. So you trade the RSI literally. You're trading the trap on RSI. Here's support on RSI. Here's the long-term trend line based on that. So you could do a Gartley on RSI. If you're a Gartley junkie, you put Gartleys on RSI. But you can see the setup there. Trend trader's dilemma. Should I have cashed out here? Do I add here? Okay, so I'm adding to the real money. I'm out of my pound, and this is bought. I'm gonna get out of the yen trade. Or did I just put out? No, I just put all those orders in. We'll just let it go. I just picked up these 2 tickets, so I'm in another 1K. I don't know. It's a demo. Let's not worry about it. It's the active trading. Here, pulling back on the. So they'll crush into this. Sellers are coming in. So see the trap here on the 30-minute. clip that wicks. Sellers are coming in. You've got a 5 minutes, but then you're buying here, right? So it's up and down. Okay, we're going to get some follow through here possibly. So we'll finish off the day with the dollar yen trying to go north. There's the 15-minute setup, a little cleaner, but the beautiful thing about RSI is that it's on the clock. It's on closing. Clock trading. Right? You can see the clear. You've got to get in during this. You're either buying at the market on the 15 as you dip into the reversal, or you're just buying at this trend line like a gumpster, but you really have to have the buy limit sitting on this top. There's a buy limit here based on this top, and you can see that the stops for the bulls are in this thing. They're all the way to here, so you need a bank of orders in there. But if you really want to feel like you're doing something, I'm a trader, you know. I babysit the 15-minute chart. What do you do, Johnny? My dad, he sits in there and yells at the screen, but we got all sorts of toys. Can you imagine? There should be some movie like the Forex Trader. Well, it's not that popular yet, but this Forex sitcom. Oh, Daddy's mad. He tried to trade a Gartley. Woof. Hide the dog, children. But we're looking for the targets, you know. This is like I said, this is the dream target. But notice my target's not off of the Wix, which is the psycho dream target. Like, she's good looking and she's smart. All right. It'd be like a guy. Who's cleaning your pool? Maybe the guy's got a PhD. You know, PhDs are a dime a dozen now. We're looking for a trend line break. Another thing is that we're looking for the trend line break of this divergence too if you're trading RSI. Sellers should be coming in there because we'll be getting divergence right there. And we'd be right up on this line here. We could actually get a estimated time of arrival, say, you want to be out of this trade by, let's see, about here is maybe realistic, the next 15 minutes, and you could just march that up a little bit. Let's give it some more time, like this much. I could see a couple of zigzags and maybe by here. So you have a couple estimated times of arrival, depending on the wind. What a grind. Okay, here's 1250. I think I'm just going to get out of there and call it a day. My dream target's not been hit today. Very disappointed in this approach. It's okay. I'm getting killed on this buy limit strategy on the dollar yen. So buyers should come in here at the 5-minute top bottom, but maybe not. The bigger time frames always enforce. The 15 says sell. So this will be a little hard to see, but it's on the RSI. If you consider this top bottom, this inversion, negative reversals, to find this place on the chart, you need to tag it. It's right there. So here we have the classic, more overbought, lower price, right? Here is waiting for those limits to fill just on dumb luck. Okay. Still pulling back my euro. Now you just have to sit tight now and let this unfold. Dollar CAD. I just got filled on the limits. So here we go. Dollar CAD's like a rape date. We've got a top bottom. You got a top bottom on an angle here. We got a trend line. Our targets to sell into that. This is how you cue this up. Sell all the way up into that. Put your orders really high on this currency. You're coming into this wick. This is where you're really going to load up. Anything up and beyond this blue line. Okay. So I'm going to let those go. Those could be scalps right now. Look at how it just ripped back off that top. So it's very scalpish, very scary up here. I never like to buy up here, I can tell you that much. You got to this. I used to buy this stuff. And I thought, God, man, I should have bought small. That didn't last. So for whatever reason, and the dollar CAD isn't a pullback. It isn't a giant channel, don't forget. But it just, on the daily, isn't anybody worried about some of these prices up here? Like this doji at the round number of 136. Man, let's just range trade it, people. I'm happy to sell these 2 daily wicks up here and cash in a whore amount of money up there. I'll ride this stupid euro. Classic setup. RSI. Okay, so live trading RSI. I'm going to get out of these yen trades. I think it's going to smash down again. So I'm going to get out of the exposure of that. And the dollar CAD on the 5-minute. I'm going to let that ride. I think they trapped these people. It's overbaked. It's done. Dollar's cooked. British pound's coming back with a vengeance, and here comes the euro. So I'm going to let these guys, I don't know what the targets are, but let's see, we're up $40. Trading small for demonstration purposes only. Waiting to get filled on the buy limits here for the scalp possibly. Sellers are in force on the 15. We got a signal in RSI. Momentum inversion. All right, we're going to look to kill this. We're going for that 113 now on the take out the high of the day. Stampede into 125. We'll cash out. Predefined exits right there. For the Mr. M, there's your predefined exits. Okay. Try to make another $10. Or just dump everything right now. But I am buying the yen here as it collapses. So you have to put this into the formula. Okay, crush down yen. Cashing out of, so I'm handing out of one into the other. CAD. Not crushing down. But I think I scalped out. Look, I scalped out. See, that scalp was built into that one. No, maybe not. No, I'm still short. Yeah, I'm still short on 2. Profits are way down here in Disneyland. Okay, looking for these 2 tickets to cash out. I estimated time of arrival is sooner than I thought, so that's no problem there. Who doesn't want to make their money? So right here, we have a kind of a hidden divergence. It's called like a divergence. If it closes here, there's a divergence inside that. But if it blows that out, it means this thing's really pissed. So let's move this up to the next 15 minutes. Break and close above that. That'll be the new support in RSI. Alrighty then. So the pound is above the round handle now. It's crushing. We just took out the high of the day on the pound. Here comes the top of the hour. It's a great time to go flat. They're going to smash the wheels off of this poor dollar. CAD's getting raped. I'm ready to take all profits in 1 minute. Go get another bottle of wine. All right. 1 minute, we could get a psycho spike on the euro. CAD's coming back to hopefully our idealized targets. Here we go. 30-second psycho spike, possibly. Sellers are here right now. I'm sure people... Here we go. Okay, British pound is about to go all the way to the doji on the 4-hour, another 30 pips up, possibly. I don't know if there's news coming out. Okay, sellers are coming in right now on the clock. Top of the hour. Boom. My clock's slow. 5 seconds slow on this clock. All right. I'm happy with any money right now here to just take and go home. So, very tempting to hit the take all profits, and I think I'm going to cave in about 5 minutes to that temptation. I'm scalping out of this too, don't forget. So everything's commingled. I'm going to cash out on everything because I want to get out of this and I don't want to micromanage that one thing. So close all profits. And get... we're still underwater, though, on these tickets. So see, that was fucked up. We didn't... That's why I didn't really want to commingle the trades. Now look at this. I'm out of this guy. This probably is going to stampede north now. So let's buy more plunge that we see coming here. And we'll just let those losers, those tickets become losers, as we don't have time to get to it. We'll put in a buy grid down here in Disneyland. Beyond the wick of the, everything comes in below this monthly for tonight's Psycho smash to 110. Loading up for tonight's trades. Actually, the whole rest of the day, if we come smashing down, into this thing. Here's my orders I just placed. All these. I think it's going to be a great smash and grab trade. Still going north on this, but I'm out. Okay, we're getting... Let's try to get some follow through here. But sellers are coming in on this fractal here. I'm going to put sell limits up here for the scalp. We'll just sell all the way up into that. We'll just throw sells up here. So I'll where my target was, I'll use that as a reversal place. Set it and forget it. Let her rip. Let her go. Right? Let her cry. Right? Hootie and the Blowfish. Just let her cry. Okay, so I'm going to sell at these fractals, just like a Gumpster, CAD. I think that this could be where people are buying, but they could be wrong. I should get out of the CAD. So it's hard to manage all these symbols, that's for sure. Oh, I think I got out. Yeah, I closed all profits. So I'm out of that. I'm willing to sell if it goes higher, up into the nosebleed. Anything above these wicks is fair game. All the way to this 136. Now, if these lasted all week, that may be frightening. Okay, we're getting more plunge possibly coming here. So we got divergence on the 15. This is a scalp. Could be a total failure, though. I guess I took advantage of that. Steep divergence. Sellers should come back in here. If this comes more overbought up into here, it'll be another reversal. Sellers are supposed to come at this floor, but if we engulf that, then I'll make back these ones that were losers. When I used to trade without stops, The amazing thing was I was so stubborn that I let the losers ride and they became winners later on. It was so adorable. I waited like 5 days with my arms folded like a Buddha, a Buddhist, and I just said, I just made so much money. I made so much money trading without stops. When you have 8 trading accounts running and you put 100 to 200 at each, you've blown up a couple, and then the other ones you say, you know what, I don't even have time to get to that thing. It's got losing trades, no stops. The whole account comes back to like it's $800. You got 200, you start with $800. Swing trade the fuck out of it. Okay, we're still crushing down here. I'm looking for another gust of wind to the downside on the dollar yen. 1 minute RSI says reversal right here. That's got to kick in. More overbought, lower price. They're killing, this euro's killing it. Up into my cells. Here we go. We're going to scalp the high wicks on the euro. British pound is going through the roof. Now they're going to smash that yen to pieces. A little bit of a, I think it's, yeah, here's the divergence, right, on the 1 minute. So if you're really psychotically, the 3-period 1 minute divergence, which tells you look for a reversal. So you got the reversal. Still holding the dollar in real money. I'm in this. I just got short here. Should I scalp it? Let me scalp these 2 euros. I'm gonna hold this. Here's I'm barely underwater here, 11 cents. Right? So what if I go flat here as this comes up a little bit? These losers become slight winners here. Right, 1 minute. So I can micromanage this. We got divergence. I can hold till these become, which I'm at $850 right now. Okay, I'm just going to bail on this. I'm going to sell into this euro now. Dump all my, and then we come back the other way. It's a real whipsaw game. I'm telling you what, range trading is, you're making money off the whipsaw. Okay, I'm taking this off at a slight win. I'm taking this off. I'm taking this off. I go flat, so I'll leave you alone. There, $850 we're flat. We're waiting to get filled on plunge orders tonight. And if dollar CAD goes up again, I'm flat on that. And we're getting a buy signal on dollar CAD. I'll get filled on banks up there. And that's it. Blow the lunch whistle. Europe's closing. The party's over. We only made $12.50 on the $12.50 target. The trap here, except the fact that sellers are coming in up there and deal with it, I have not met my glorious fantasy target of the Fibonacci 113 because of my Fibonacci-itis that I contracted from watching too many empowered trading videos, which it could happen. And that's it. My exit would be here on the scalp, the 4-hour fractal. And that's all there is. It's as easy as that. It's so darn easy.